I'm nobody's DE&I hire. I am amazing at what I do. I have focused on my craft for 20 plus years. I'm hardworking. Like, I deserve the shelf space that I am on.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of According to Blake. I am so excited to be joined by this beauty powerhouse right now. I think now more than ever, we need to be having conversations, not just about creating a Black brand, but sustaining a Black-owned brand. So I am so excited to be joined by the CEO and founder of LYS Beauty. Also, I'll get to that part in a second. Tisha Thompson is here joining me, and I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So what I was saying earlier, then when I was like, do you know you were one of my first ever beauty lunches, brands that ever took me to?
I feel like I remember. I feel
was
like we
brand
met
new
in the lobby.
We were at the One Hotel.
Yes, I do remember
in
that.
Central Park.
I do.
And at the time you were at Pure.
Yes.
So speaking to that,
Yes.
so your resume is extensive. So I, of course, want to acclimate the audience with that. Can you talk to us a little about your journey into beauty?
Yeah. I started as a makeup artist. I worked at MAC for a little while. I worked in the beauty scene, music videos, bridal
All the cool
scene.
girls used to work at MAC.
Yes. This was in Atlanta in the early 2000s. So I'm dating myself. I was 5. But no, it was an interesting time. And, I wanted to be a makeup artist full time. It was really what I wanted to do. But my parents were military and they were just like, we're going to need you to get a real job. So thankfully, I was in school and I did finish college and focused on my business degree. And I ended up, working as my full-time work while I did makeup on the side as a staff accountant. So I would be doing like payroll and accounts payable and just learning financial side of different businesses. And as I was kind of growing in my career, fast forward, I landed a really awesome opportunity at a company that owned makeup brands, but I was doing their accounting. And so that's what I did for a little while. And then I had an opportunity to become a marketing coordinator position open up. And I was like, I'll take the demotion. Like, listen, I know I would prefer to be in marketing. And I want to get in product development. And so I really kind of took that leap and made that shift. And, I spent about 12 years on the corporate side in beauty, predominantly focusing on social media, brand management, international and global sales. And I led product development. And it was really an exciting time. It was like my master's degree. Because I remember applying at one point to get my master's. And I was like, doing the process. And I was like, I don't think they're going to teach me anything that I'm not doing right this second. I'm going to save these coins. But it was interesting. And it was definitely, I learned a lot. But yeah, it's my journey. And that was, almost 23, 24 years ago.
And I think now that's so important, the journey, because I think now, especially on TikTok, I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of beauty professionals are so talented.
Yeah.
And severely lack business acumen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at you and your career, it is a testament to the value of learning the business side of things.
Totally.
So as you were deciding to launch your own brand, how did all of your experience and years before lead you to that moment in a way that you feel is was sustainable?
Yeah. I always say, like, having the view or the outlook in all areas of business is kind of like my secret weapon. A lot of times you'll see founders, they really are the marketing or product development brains behind their business, but they typically have to hire in somebody to help with finance, somebody to help with operations. And I think the really good thing that I possess is the ability to see the landscape fully all the way around. And then I think I can scale much faster because of that. I don't have to, learn it as I go. A lot of people are learning as they go, and I've kind of already mastered it. I always tell people, I mentor a lot of people, and I always tell my mentees, I say, I like pizza, but I'm not going to go start a pizza place tomorrow just because I like pizza. I don't know the first thing about running a pizza joint, and I'm probably going to hit a lot of hurdles, and I probably could do it very well, but it's not very risk averse and it's going to be more costly. And in our community, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to fall and pick ourselves back up. We don't really have the financial ability to try and maybe we'll get it right. Like, we have one shot.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like everything that I owned went into starting this business. And me and my husband always say burn the boats. And that was a burn the boats situation. But it's really hard to do that if you don't really have almost what I would consider a sure bet, because it's literally your livelihood. I have kids, I have a mortgage. And so I always say, learn not just the craft and the industry, but understand what you're signing up for before you take that full leap. And a lot of people don't want to go work for anyone else, but you can learn on somebody else's dime. You can learn and make mistakes and you can grow. And it just makes your journey as an entrepreneur, in my view, so much easier.
And how long will you say that you were in the prep stages before leaving your corporate job? Like at what point did you say, I have an idea that I know can thrive? Like you said, we don't have the luxury of falling down and
totally
getting an investment from dad to just keep trying. So like at what point did you know that you were ready to jump from corporate to create your own brand?
I'll be honest with you. I probably never would have if what happened to me did not happen. Mm-hmm. So basically, I've always had this knack and love to, want to lead. I think I'm a Leo. I'm a natural born leader. I'm the firstborn.
My mom is a Leo. And y'all are something.
Hey, we're amazing. But I'm a natural. Like I thrive and have this energy that really excites me when it's something that I can like lead and drive. But representation matters. Yeah. And even for Leos who can be thrill seekers and take risks and just be like, we're going to just do it because we want to do it. We have to be pragmatic too. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's not something that I saw very often. I never saw Black women beauty founders. We definitely didn't have retail space presence. And so for me, it wasn't a risk averse decision. And it was one that I knew, being in the industry, how expensive it was to operate. You can start a lot of businesses, especially in makeup. You can private label products. It's very easy, but scaling is so expensive and it's very difficult to do. And for me, I don't think I ever would have did it. But 2019, I lost my dad unexpectedly. And it really shook my world because, it really changed my perspective, because it's like, how can you talk to somebody one day and they be gone the next? You can't understand that feeling and that emotion. And for me, it really did make me look at life differently. Sometimes it's okay to take risks. They can be calculated risks, but you have to take some kind of risk. Right. You have to bet on yourself. And I think for me, it was just like, somebody asked me, they said, if today was your last day, did you accomplish or do everything that you feel that you would have wanted to do while you were here on earth? And I couldn't say yes. So for me, I was like, okay, I have to do this. I have a really good paying job, very successful. Yeah. I was comfortable. And I traded all that away for the unknown. But it was the unknown that I just knew if I didn't try this, I would not be satisfied on my way out. And so I made the decision to just start it and do it, and ready or not. But I do feel like I had enough time in to where it's like, it's either now or never.
Yeah.
I actually felt really saddened by timing is everything. And so for a little while, I beat myself up because I missed the 2020 boat. So I didn't launch until 2021.
You did not. Yes, correct.
And I had always had this vision, and I was like toying with it. My dad passed in 2019, and I was still struggling with, and when I saw the surge and support and outpouring of love, that furthered my rationale for now is it, because I kicked myself every single day thinking, man, I would have had my business. I could have been being talked about amongst all these other brands getting all this love and support. So it just was another thing that reminded me like, okay, you need to do this. I was having major FOMO and I was like, we're not doing this.
It's my turn.
We're not doing this.
So it took you you said from 2019 and then you launched in 2021. So the ideation phase to the rollout phase was about how long?
A year.
That's quick.
Yes. Actually, from final approval of formulas, 7 months. Like, yes. But you got to think, I'm coming off of all of these relationships for 10 years.
Yeah.
So these are my people. I'm already working with them. I already know them. So it's like, hey, I'm stepping on my
whatever
own.
You need.
Can you help me? And they're like, oh, I got you. So people were moving mountains, even during a time where it was difficult to get product in this country. We're dealing with major supply chain issues.
Which we're about to, it feels like deja vu.
Yes.
We're about to have the exact same issue.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm talking about miracles. But I pitched to Sephora in July, August of 2020.
That was my next question getting
July, August of 2020. I mean, and we were shipping in online by February. So it was very quick.
And, for so many brands, especially Black brands, they sometimes are afraid to go from D2C to retailer. It's either the dream or they're hesitant about it because we've seen horror stories where people think they're getting in big retailers and then they're put in the back of the store in West Bumblefuck of nowhere.
Totally.
You, with your background, I assume knew how to breathe through the bullshit of things that we hear when going into retail. What is the greatest lesson that someone who is looking to go into retail should go in knowing?
It's okay to start small. I think that what happened to a lot of Black businesses in 2020 is these retailers wanting to kind of play into what they treated us as a trend.
Yeah.
And give these brands all of this shelf space to meet a quota or to have this marketing story. But really, it was at the disadvantage for the brands because it's very challenging to service even 100 stores, but these brands were getting 500, 800 Target stores. I mean, that's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sell itself. It requires a lot of execution. And I don't think you just see the PO and you're like, oh my God, I have this purchase order for what?
Yeah.
And you're just like, let's figure it out. And what happens is, I see it all the time. You ship it in, but you don't sell it through. And for me, I would always just tell people, if ever given the opportunity to go into retail, start small. Like we started with 100 doors at Sephora. And we started with half a shelf, which, is small. It's small.
But everybody
it's digestible.
Wants the big shelf. They want
everybody
to be able to post
wants
the big shelf.
3-foot gondola in all 900, 600 stores. And then they want to be, be careful what you ask for kind of thing. Start in the place that's free. A lot of these, shared fixtures or these things can be like free to brands, and rather than kind of trying to go into this front of store or my personalized unit, which you have to pay for.
Right.
And so we started in a space where it allowed us to grow. It allowed us to scale slowly. Then we went from we proved the concept. We went from half a shelf to a full shelf. We went from 100 doors to 200, from 200 to 400. So it's like, take your time.
Yeah.
It was still really fast. I mean, we're only 4 years old.
I can't
so
believe.
It's still technically fast, but not all in one fell swoop, which is what happened to a lot of brands in 2020.
Well, another thing that's happening to a lot of brands, TikTok.
Yes.
We've seen the Keith Lee effect with restaurants. Like It will take brands and just catapult them. Now, you all were already doing well.
Yes.
And then you start going viral on TikTok.
Yes.
So what does that look like for a brand who is already doing well? You already know, the business, the inners.
Yeah.
Did you learn something new, or was it even jarring for you to see the way that social media can move product and at what rate it can move product?
Yeah. It definitely shocked me. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's one of those things where I don't ever like to use viral because viral to me as a business owner is scary.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Because it's literally like when you say something's viral, we're like, I always say we're in the land of goldfish, right? Like it's you get 15 minutes and then people move on. We forget so fast.
The attention span is like this.
On to the next. And so you kind of don't want to be, you want to be popular, but you don't want to be just only viral because then it's like, in my view, sometimes it's the connotation of limited time.
Yeah.
And so, but it does spiral, but it helps. And I think the best way to do it is, well, it depends on what you go viral for. So like there's going viral for something and then it fizzles out because it doesn't meet the expectation. And then there's going viral and that people discover something that's absolutely amazing. Yep. And I think it's up to the brand based on the response and the feedback to then double down based on that. And what was really an awesome blessing is that what went viral, just people loved it and received it so well. Yep. And now it became like an awesome discovery. People were flocking into Sephora to try more and see what else we had and all this type of stuff. And so now the onus is on us because now we have a yearning community of people that are interested and eager. And so it makes it exciting because we have a captive audience now. And so a lot of brands, focus on top level, top of funnel, and then they kind of build them down to where they get a purchase. And we're kind of doing the reverse. And that people have bought the product. They don't even know who we are. They've literally in droves. Yep. And now I have to feed them up to keep them, right? Yeah. To keep them excited. What do we stand for? What we're all about? Yes, you have this product that you love, but what's the story behind the brand? What is our mission? And just, letting them know like LYS stands for love yourself. And the whole vision and premise about the brand is to be a non-conforming take on beauty. How our goal is to help people live as their most confident, authentic self. And we don't ever promote how to change who you are. It's all about being you. Yeah. And once we let people know what we stand for, even why the packaging is triangle, and the intentionality behind everything, then they're like, wow, like I brought this bronzer, I bought this product that I really like, but now I'm in love with the brand. Yeah. I'm in love with what it stands for. Yeah. And then they start buying other stuff. Yeah. And then it's like, that's how you magnify or take advantage of something going viral.
Well, I want to dive into the brand now. Yes. The products.
Yes.
What do you think sets LYS apart from other brands in terms of, we talked about, like you said, the brand ethos and what y'all stand for. Sure. But from a formulaic aspect, why are y'all better than the girls?
Listen. Okay, well, the biggest thing I always tell people, even though I was a makeup artist, right. And I may have been doing makeup 20-something years, I want, and I know firsthand the struggles that the girls have when they don't know how to apply something. Yeah. I want to try it. I love this. It sounds great. But I have no clue how to use it. And so I want to make products that are easy for people to use, makeup artists or novice, whatever. And so, and I want products to do more than one thing because, again, people don't usually have a lot of time and very few people are really educated in how to apply their makeup. And so to be able to have a blush that you can also use as a lipstick or to have a highlighter stick that you can use as a primer under your foundation to give you glowy skin, but then also use it as eyeshadow, but then use it as a highlighter. It's like now I've replaced 3 products in your makeup bag 3 products that you really don't know what you're doing to use. And now I've made it super easy and simple in a stick. But I think what really makes us different, aside from, really being intentional and creating products that are really easy to use, is the fact that we're a clean brand, but we're highly pigmented. And you can literally go from like the gym in our makeup, or you can wear it on your wedding day or going out or super glam. There are very few, if I dare to say, none, especially the ones I've been exposed to in clean that you focus on better for you ingredients, reduced and or no fragrance, reduced and or no silicones, any type of irritants, talc, like the basic things that you see heavy in traditional glam makeup. The clean brands that really focus on eliminating those ingredients can't get you that glam. They really focus on that sheer girl
It
next
is.
door.
What is it?
No
Clean girl
makeup,
aesthetic?
Clean girl
I'm
aesthetic.
like,
No
babes,
makeup.
I need to look like a different person when I leave this
I'm
house.
2016 makeup all day, every day. It's no in between for me. It is no makeup at all, or it is full glam.
Yes.
Like there's no
Same.
in between. And so for me, I think we are uniquely different as a clean brand because we absolutely are a glam clean brand.
Right.
Which is very different than what you see traditional clean brands.
And we see this a lot too, is a lot of clean brands, when they scale, they do have to change formulations and things. Now, we thank God for chemists who come and explain to us why these things happen. But for you, scaling clean seems tremendously harder than scaling not clean.
Yeah.
Why clean? Why did you want?
Yeah, so, well, I know because as a makeup artist, I've literally used all the things.
Everything.
And the biggest reason first is my skin is very sensitive and irritant and it breaks out a lot. And I used to wear all the things, but my skin was not the best.
Yeah.
And so for me, I felt like it would be a better responsibility because it's what my skin prefers to do something that I know would be better on other people's skin.
Right.
So the other reason for me, it was the technology has evolved so much to where a lot of the things that are being put in makeup that you know can have an impact on fertility, can have an impact on, you know, being linked to cancer. Like they're just not ingredients that are necessary anymore. Sometimes it was kind of like, you know, when you talk about like talc, it was like all you could use to truly get that performance.
Right.
But now you don't. And so I look at it as there's just no reason why not to. You know, if you can do better and if you know better, then you should, right? And so I always say, know better, do better. And that for me was the rationale behind it. I just felt like it was the most authentic to me, and something that I can be proud of, and something that I know I would want to wear, something that I know I would want, you know, my kids to put on their face, or my nieces and nephews, whoever. I wanted something that I felt good about sharing with other people.
Now, not problems, but what obstacles does clean present?
Yeah.
Is it more expensive? Does it take longer to formulate? What are not necessarily cons, but you know, I think everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm a clean brand. I'm whipping up this thing in my house. That doesn't work when you scale.
Totally. I mean, you have issues with shelf life. So you have reduced shelf life.
Right.
You know, whereas, you know, some brands could have things that can literally live on a shelf for 8 years. Like literally the amount of preservatives.
Which is scary. I don't think any of us should have.
We've seen the French fry
that lasts 8 years. Yeah, I actually don't think we should do that.
You don't want that on your face, but so there's that, right? Because the more clean, natural, or better for you, healthy, organic, those sort of ingredients are going to have shorter shelf life, which does make it challenging because we are in the same environment as these other brands. We're in the retail stores with the harsh UV lighting. So, you know, those are things that we have to keep in mind. I wouldn't say it's more expensive. It can be certainly more expensive, but there are alternatives to where it doesn't have to be. And I would say that from a regulatory perspective, you know, it could be a little bit more challenging as well. Also, there's some areas that the technology isn't as far along as I want it to be. Like when you talk about eye products, you know, lip and face are a little bit further along.
I remember when you launched the mascara.
But yeah, those are things that, you know, we did a mascara that's alcohol free. I mean, most, you know, it's crazy to think.
I remember at the dinner, you were like,
crazy.
This took a long time to figure out.
So long because, you know, in my mind, I'm like, well, I kind of don't want alcohol in my mascara.
Right.
You know what I mean?
By my eyes.
By my eyes. But we've been using it since we were 12, right? Yeah. But that doesn't make it okay just because it's what we've been given all of these years. So if there's an opportunity to improve it and make it better, but that just means now you're breaking barriers, you're pushing boundaries with chemists, you know, a lot of trial and error, but it's doable. It may take more time for sure.
And speaking about pushing boundaries, because we can't ignore what's going on right now.
Yeah.
respect as a Black woman in these spaces,
Mhm.
right? It's like, I think, yes, makeup and beauty is wholly consumed by women, but it is ran by rich white men.
Mhm.
The industry is.
Mhm.
How have you learned how to do that delicate dance? Especially, you are a huge brand. You're one of Sephora's fastest growing brands. What does that look like, though, in how you are treated and how you are received in these spaces?
I mean, I honestly think it's all in who you choose to partner with and who you, I mean, there are some really great people out there that in the space, and I've been blessed to be able to partner with amazing people that I truly feel like are kind, good humans.
Yeah.
And I think like if you respond, if you work that way, if that's the type of person that you are, then you kind of get that same energy and you can work and align with those type of people. I'm not saying there are not bad ones out there, but I'm a really good judge of character. And
It's the Leo in you.
Yeah.
My mom is too.
For me, it's like, if I know you're coming at me with some mess, I'm not even going to entertain you. You're not going to be in my stratosphere, and I don't have to worry about it. And you can go grow your millions and millions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars of companies. It won't be mine. And I would rather grow smaller and align with good people that I know have my back and see me not for the color of my skin or the value I may bring because, this, is popular to support Black business or whatever.
Right.
No, they see me because my ideas are good. The innovation that I create is good. My products are good. Those are the type of people, and I can sniff them out, and I don't work with them. And and I've been really blessed to be around amazing people who've lifted me up and been great supporters of me. So I just, not everybody has had the ability to do that.
No,
but I thankfully have.
do you have any fear? I mean, your product speaks for itself. You guys have a dedicated fan base. And when we look at all these DEI rollbacks and things like that, are you fearful in any capacity of what that means for the future of your brand?
Not really. Well, two things. One, I try not to always lead on, like, I'm proud to be a Black-owned business, but I just really want to be an amazing cosmetics business. Like, sometimes I don't want, I'm nobody's DE&I hire. I am amazing at what I do. I have focused on my craft for 20 plus years. I'm hardworking. Like, I deserve the shelf space that I am on. And so for me, I think looking at it with that lens and you continue to be the badass that you are and deliver and execute, then, for me, I'm not walking in fear. Like, I know God's got me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm living my purpose. And I feel good. I think one thing I can say that that is really disappointing is the retailers' take on it and how they've made the decision to unnecessarily, right? What I love about Sephora is it's truly something they're doubling down on and continuing to focus on the impact that Black creators, founders, just overall Black beauty in general has on the industry. And so, I always tell this, call Sephora. Y'all better call Sephora. Because listen, they showing love over here. But I know it's not the case for everybody. But I honestly think that all we can do is continue to support each other.
Yeah.
Because, what we have to remember as a community is that these brands rely their livelihood, the ability to progress our community, the culture relies on that space because there's nowhere else to go. They really do have it on lock. I mean, you take Amazon, Walmart, Target, you take those alone away, and it's like the limited options for access to be able to really, truly buy our stuff. And so, although we don't like it, we have the power to really shift the conversation if we, band together as a community and support those brands. And there, you can't just say, well, I'm not supporting this retailer anymore. That means every Black business in that retailer is going to crumble. And we are going to take steps and steps backwards. So we need to still support these brands until they're able to figure out another stream or channel to sell their products.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, you know, my take is like, okay, now more than ever, I'm supporting Black business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of your products, I know this is like asking you what your favorite child is, and we're going to get to being a mother and wife and business owner in a second. What is your favorite product?
My favorite product must have for sure is my brow pencil. But it also has an emotional connection to me as well, because I created it in honor of my mom. So I lost my mom to breast cancer. She fought for like 14 years.
Wow.
But she was my best friend, and she was she actually got to see me start the business, which was great. And you know, that's one thing I used to do with her when she was having her treatments all the time was her brows. And so I created that product in her honor and donate all the proceeds to breast cancer research. But I genuinely don't leave my house without my brows. I always tell people, if you've seen me without my brows, then we're on another level. Like, you can basically say you're in my inner circle and we're best friends. Like, people just don't see me without my brows. So, you know, that is, to me, my baby must have all day.
And you're a wife and mother.
Yeah.
And I think I never really thought about like if I couldn't do things until I got to the age where I wanted to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was actually having a conversation last night with someone about a topic, and they were like, you know, I know this is going to sound awful. They were like, but I don't think I want a woman who's in her era of not want to date her for this particular thing.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, as she should devote her time to that. Mm-hmm. But then I have something that I want to get done too. Mm-hmm. And we're often told you can have it all, but not at the same time. Mm-hmm. And it seems like you're doing it at the same time. But one can only assume that comes with sacrifice, and it comes with the balancing act, if balance is even real. Mm-hmm. What has that journey look like for you? Because you were also climbing the corporate ranks before you did this. So it's always been doing both.
Totally. Yeah, it is definitely a juggle. It literally is. I can only describe it as the way you actually see a juggler in the circus. So it actually is a circus. You're actually juggling. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And when you describe it and when you try to explain it to people, it sounds extremely chaotic.
It does. When I talk to my mom friends, I'm like, I think I want this, but then I know. Talk to y'all.
But when you live it and you're getting through it and you're on the other side as you start to see success and progress, you're like, really, I can do it all and I can have it all. Yeah, there are sacrifices. There are things that, you know, you have to kind of juggle. But I think it's just trying to find as much balance as you possibly can. You know, now, before, when I didn't work for myself, you know, if there was a big business meeting and let's say it happened to fall on my son's birthday, then I probably would have had, like, I think it happened one time where I had to fly in on his birthday night, right? And it's devastating and it's difficult because, like, that's your career and you have to work and you have mom guilt. And you start to rationalize it. You're like, okay, well, he's only 7. And is he going to actually remember anyway? Because, you know, really, we don't have cognitive full memory. You start getting all scientific, right? You're like, until maybe 9 or 10. So I don't even think he's really going to know. So I'm just going to do it. But so you just, that's the way you start to live. Yeah. And then when I became an entrepreneur, I thought to myself, well, now this is going to give me a lot of time. I'll be able to do, and it's the total opposite. But I have what I would consider my my non-negotiables, and there's some things that it's like, okay, I don't miss, right? And so it's like, today's my husband's birthday. And
happy birthday!
He's here. But it's like, you know, I got this opportunity to go on TV today, and he was like, oh, it's fine. You know, we'll do something when you get back. And I go, we have not spent your birthday apart in 27 years. And
we're not starting today.
I got so emotional and I started teary-eyed and because like he was in his mind, he was like, I want to be home for my birthday. I want to be in my space, relax. I want to do my thing.
And you're like, no, let's go to the most chaotic city that exists in the world.
And I'm like, you're coming with me to New York for this one. But it's things like that. It's like trying to find that balance, but also having that support system. So it circles back to like, you got to have good people around you who are willing to help you and lift you because you can't do it by yourself.
No.
Especially with kids, it takes a village. And so I think trying to find that balance is just an everyday struggle that you just happen to get through. But it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Being a mom is the best thing about my life. I don't know what I did before I had kids. It's happy chaos, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, it just, you feel like you're living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because me and my husband say like, because my oldest is 14 and I'm like.
Which is such a fun age.
It is.
It's like fun, but then not fun.
It's
but they have opinions.
Yes.
And like.
It is that teenager age. It's like, ugh. And then he's getting ready to drive this year. He turns 15 this year. And I'm just like, oh. But it's one of those things where I enjoy these stages, but I look back and I go, what did we do on the weekends? Like we were lazy apparently. Because like, what did we do? Like we had all the time, but thought at the time we had no time.
No time.
So it's amazing how your life shifts and pivots to each cycle that you're in. And it just fits. It's so bizarre.
And speaking to that community, how important or would you say that you have found community with other brand owners? How important is that through your journey? Have you found that it's been to your journey?
Honestly, it's very rewarding. I will say I grew up in beauty in an era where that was extremely faux pas. Like even when you worked at a brand, you did not wear or show that you wore other brand. It was like, I remember in a meeting when I worked for a founder and a girl pulled out her Dior lip gloss. I don't think she was there a good 2 or 3 weeks later. She was like gone. And so I grew up in an era where founders didn't speak. It was a rival type thing. It was just not good. And now it is the complete opposite. I mean, it is the most collaborative connection. And it's so empowering. I'll never forget the day I announced that I was coming to Sephora. 2 amazing founders reached out to me. And Amy from Tower 28 and Lainey from Say Beauty.
Yeah. I love Lainey.
Both of them reached out and were like, congrats. If you want to connect, let's do something. Lainey and I did a live the week of my launch. Amy invited me to be a part of her clean beauty school.
Wow.
Like just an amazing connectivity. And then fast forward, me and Danessa started syncing up and then Christina from 54 Thrones. And then next thing you know, it's like I've got all these founder friends and we literally just text. And now Deepika and I are like, I mean, I talk to her every day. I feel like from Live Tinted, it's like, we share, it's like we all live in this lane of, first of all, we're not each other's enemy. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, we are really honestly growing up together in this. And our goal is like, when we all each rise, the pie rises for all of us. And what's for me is for me and what's for you is for you. And there's no like competition in it at all. It is truly like, hey, I have this problem. You have any suggestions? Or hey, I have this problem. You know what I mean? Or hey, like I'm trying to find funding. You need good people, or are these people worth talking to? Because they reached out, and they'll be like, mm-mm. And you'd be like, see, literally, they found an iceberg, like told me the iceberg was coming, and I was able to pivot. So it's invaluable, absolutely invaluable. Because even though I have a lot of experience, you know, this like, you know, the what I'm going through day to day and what I'm dealing with as a founder versus an employee is extremely different.
Yeah.
It's very, very different.
And there's good news.
Yeah.
There's a new launch.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Can you bring it to us so we can share? Because by the time this comes out, it will be fully out.
Yes.
But I'm like, this would be fun to show. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, so I got you some goodies. Yes, you have to see. Okay,
tell us.
Yes, this is the new launches. So these are our new lip plumping lip balms. They are so incredible.
A lip plumping lip balm.
Yes. So, so the plumping, what makes them plump is there's chia seed oil in there. And so you know how
I'm not going to burn. So it's not going to burn my lips off.
So you know how chia seeds plump up and they like give you that natural plump, or like they plump up in your oatmeal or whatever. But that's what the oil does for your lips. So it kind of plumps naturally. But then we also have Maxi Lip, which is a skincare. It's a peptide. And basically it helps also plump the lips over time.
So smooth.
So yeah. So you can just keep spinning it the other way. That way. Mm-hmm.
So smooth.
Yep. And so it's really buttery and creamy. And it's just, all of them are named after certain or have flavors, all food grade flavoring. So like pineapple and honey and vanilla, strawberry.
I see strawberry.
Watermelon. So all food grade flavoring. So same flavoring that you would eat.
Right.
And they smell delicious.
I'm
They're
so excited.
So juicy on your lips.
Without that burn. Where you feel like you're about to, you need to go to the doctor.
We don't do that. And listen, I have naturally full lips, but I like them to be like plump and glossy and juicy. And so, but I hate the tingling and I hate the, no.
It's like scary.
No.
I'm like, is everything okay here?
Exactly. So I wanted to feel like luxurious and like, sensual. So they're really, really amazing. They're really good.
Well, as we wrap, so of course this show is called According to Blake, but today it is according to Tisha.
Oh, stop.
So according to Tisha, what is harder to create, a mascara or a foundation?
Oh my goodness. I'm going to say foundation because to do it right, you have to have multiple undertones.
Okay.
And you have to really be able to nail the shade range as well. And it's not as easy. It's not, I mean, that's why so many brands screw it up.
Yeah. Too many to count.
Yes. It is. And that's why they need to be calling people who look like us to help them.
Yeah.
And stop with the foolery.
Yeah. According to Tisha, what should be the first step that a brand founder, aspiring brand founder should take to when it comes to securing funding? Or is there a resource that they should look into when they're looking to secure funding?
Oh man, that's such a tough question because it really depends on the stage. So if you're early stage, like we were, I reached out to like a friend, like a mentor friend.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to do VC or PE.
Yeah.
And so I would say if you have that and any connection to give you, a couple thousand or whatever to get started, that's a good stage.
Okay.
Once you have some revenue, maybe you're 5 million and up, then you, I think, can start to have conversations with outside investors. I would say definitely ask around and talk to people and make sure before you sign with anybody, you have courted them significantly because it is like a marriage. But it's with marriage, you can get divorced. You cannot get divorced until you sell your company. They are riding along with you the entire way. And I think even I wasn't really fully educated on how the process worked. And so you just think, oh, like nothing's forever. Oh, no, that one's forever. Until you fully sign and you're out, like that partner you sign up with is your partner. So be careful and make sure you know who you're signing up with.
And according to Tisha, I already asked you what your favorite baby was. So according to Tisha, what is the greatest makeup faux pas you are seeing today? Like you said, you're a 2016 girly. You were doing makeup when everybody's trying to do their makeup how you were doing it in like you said, when you were 5 in the early 2000s. What is the biggest makeup faux pas that you see?
I would say, honestly, concealer under the eye that's way too bright, or under the brow that's like way too stark.
I just stopped doing concealer under the brow.
I just let's not, and say we did.
I love. Okay, please tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find the brand.
Yes, so you can find the brand on all platforms at LYS Beauty Official. You can find me as well at Glamour Girl 5, and girl is GURL 5.
We love it. Thank you guys so much for joining. And thank you for
Thank
joining.
you. Thanks for having me.
Of
This was fun.
course.